A group of U.S. Special Forces has issued a warning about terrorists potentially entering the United States due to President Joe Biden's open borders policy. The warning came in an open letter signed by Christopher Miller, chairman of the Special Operations Association of America, SOAA, which includes Army Rangers, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, Marine Raiders, Air Force Air Commandos, and other special forces. The letter emphasizes that America faces a significant threat of a terrorist attack within its borders. Miller wrote that the SOAA is concerned by the current heightened risk of terrorist attacks against targets inside the United States and both U.S. and allied interests abroad. He highlighted that the open southern border with Mexico exacerbates this risk. This risk is compounded by developments in the Middle East and the porous, unsecured southern border, through which we have seen numerous instances of individuals on terrorist watch lists and others from adversarial countries attempt to enter the U.S., Miller continued. Related, Biden's unsecured southern border, a domestic terror threat, says U.S. Special Ops Group. Those are the ones we know about only because they were detected. We do not know how many other terrorists are already currently inside the United States. Miller, who served as acting defense secretary toward the end of former President Trump's first term, cited Biden's hasty withdrawal from Afghanistan as the primary reason for this threat. He stated that this action has left America without a viable stay-behind or over-the-horizon counterterrorism and intelligence capability to suppress threats. This has created a power vacuum, allowing extremist groups to regain strength. The U.S. has lost significant intelligence collection capabilities in the region, leaving federal authorities blind and deaf to emerging threats emanating from the region. The creation of new and re-establishment of previous terrorist training camps within Afghanistan has led to successful, deadly attacks by the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria's ISIS regional branch against targets in Iran and Russia and elsewhere, adding further credence to the notion that the U.S. is at risk. Even terrorists from Central Asia are crossing the border. According to Modernity News, the SOAA's open letter aligns with reports that the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, has identified over 400 immigrants from Central Asia and elsewhere who have entered the U.S. in the past 3 years as subjects of concern. These migrants were reportedly brought in by a human smuggling network with ties to ISIS. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE agents, have arrested around 150 of them, and the DHS is aware of the location of most of the rest. However, the whereabouts of over 50 remain unknown. Among those identified were 8 men from Tajikistan with potential ties to ISIS. According to a CBS News report, the Tajikistanis were arrested in New York City, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. The suspects, who had been on the radar of the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Joint Terrorism Task Force, were apprehended by ICE agents. 2 officials familiar with the matter said all 8 Tajikistanis crossed through the southern border into the U.S., with their criminal background checks coming clean. At least 2 of them crossed the border in the spring of last year, and one of those 2 used the CBP One app. The Biden administration created the CBP One app to allow migrants to book appointments to claim asylum.